Welcome to Six Pack Cinema. Today we are reviewing A Star is Born, a movie starring Bradley Cooper and directed by Bradley Cooper. Lady Gaga is the female lead. Stephanie Gallimato, I think is her real name. Let's get into this.
Dude, you should review movies.
Oh my god, yes.
Okay, I've had a couple, so movie review.
All right, what's up, everybody? Thank you for joining Six Pack Cinema. If you're a longtime listener, we appreciate you coming back. If it's your first time just because you saw A Star is Born and you want to hear people talk about it, I completely understand because I want to talk about this movie. Dave isn't with us today, so it's just myself and John, two-man show. How this show works is we're going to talk about the movie in general, then go into our ratings, our pairings, and basically that. Rating it, we rate it popcorn, and we rate it critical. But we'll get to that at the end. First, general gut reaction, John. Did you like this movie?
I love this movie. Last Friday we were on Headliners. I said that for some reason I just couldn't get it up over this movie. I had no interest. I knew it was going to be good. I was going to see it, but I was like, nah, whatever. It's going to be an average movie. Blew my doors off at how good this was. Straight through from beginning to end, had me captivated. Tears, little giggles here and there. So emotional. So you felt so much.
I'd be hard pressed to find someone who watches this and says it's a bad movie. It's such a simple tale, but every aspect of the filmmaking is done so well.
Yeah,
I mean, it was a really good movie.
I can't criticize it too much. I can't think of anything that was like bad.
I have one weird criticism, but we'll get to it later on.
Okay.
Because I want to start just at the beginning. The whole first act, I was grinning like a fool. I was like, if someone's watching me right now, they'd think I was watching like my baby daughter at her dance recital. It was just like the sweetest shit. I was just sitting there like Lady Gaga's character, Allie. I loved how pure and good she was throughout the entire thing. Like, you know that movies have to go south and that you have to get upset, but I love that they never made her spirit like mean ever.
Even when she was upset about him like disappearing and like she showed up and like kicked them and she says, "Well, what last time?" But she did it like a out of pure love.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, she was really like she wasn't mean.
No.
So the first act, we see him at a show, and then he's drunk driving around just finding any bar. Did you see the big, and spoilers for everyone, did you see the big symbolism or foreshadowing in that scene when he's driving around New York City?
No.
He drives past a billboard that they very clearly put into shot with 4 nooses. Do you remember?
Really?
Do you remember it now? Right before he sees the bar,
I do.
There's a billboard behind with 4 nooses. So that was
Right, yeah. It parked right in front of it.
Yeah, they parked right in front of it. He gets out.
Yeah.
So that's some foreshadowing there.
Yeah, it is. Is there any symbolism to the 4? Because I know he attempted suicide once when he was 12.
Yeah,
By hanging.
by
By
hanging.
hanging.
I don't know if the 4 is anything. I don't know if there was 4. I think there was a bunch. I'm picturing like 3 or 4 in my head.
Okay.
But I thought Lady Gaga's intro scene where she's yelling in the bathroom, while I thought that was shot really cool with the bathroom tiles and her feet underneath the stall. We don't see her yet. We just hear her. I thought that was a cool introduction. That's the thing they do in filming a big process of writing and directing a movie is when you introduce characters, are you going to see them first or are you going to hear them first? Are you going to know about them before you see them? Things like that. So they went the route of we just hear her voice first. Whispering and breaking up with her boyfriend, which I don't even know if that was necessary. Why?
Now that you brought it up, I completely forgot about it, and it wasn't necessary. But I mean, basically, maybe it was just to show that like the state she was in, she had to like break up in a bathroom with a guy who clearly had a wife.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. I think it was just to show she was down and out. Like,
yeah,
she had to take out the garbage. It was very heavy. This girl's down and out.
Yeah, nothing going well for her.
Yeah, but it was shot really cool. And then she goes to the drag bar. I thought him he was so good at just like mumbling things. The dialogue in this movie felt really natural. Sometimes they even talked over each other. I like when they do that in movies, and it's not just you say a line, I say a line, you say it. Like it felt like they improvised a lot. And because of his loss of hearing, he said "what" a lot, which you never see in movies.
No, well, that was nice. I will give a little criticism for that first like date, if you want to call it. I felt like you could tell he was absolutely shit faced the whole time because conversation was random, sporadic, and it was just like how you remember something after like a night of drinking. It just pieces kind of fit together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's like a puzzle.
It wasn't a fluid conversation at any point.
No, I thought they did a good job. You could tell when like Cooper's character was sober or drunk.
Yeah, no, the graveliness went way down when he was drunk.
Yeah, and his eyes were really clear. I'm not sure what they did to have that effect.
He was sweaty when he was drinking too.
Yeah,
I noticed that.
I thought that everything about the first date to being called on stage to sing was just so like sweet. I mean, I don't have a more masculine word for it, but it was touching. Yeah. My favorite, like very early, almost cried. I don't know if this would be the same for a lot of other people. When she gets on stage, and then the next day, her dad and friends, which is Andrew Dice Clay, which you didn't realize until you.
I didn't realize that.
I didn't realize.
Blew my mind.
Yeah, it's crazy. But when he walks into his friends, like, you see how many people watch this? And he's like, I'm 200 of them. I'm 200 of those people. That
was nice.
Like he was so proud. That shit will always get me. Fathers being proud or loved ones being proud.
See, I teared up before that. When her first note on stage, and she kind of like surprised herself with how it just built out. It's just kind of like all bubbling to the surface, and like that was a moment. Her entire life built up to this one moment, and she nailed that first note, and she like surprised herself, and she just was natural. I was like, boom,
yeah,
that's waterworks right there.
And it was her song too. That was fucking awesome.
The whole sequence.
Her friend was pretty cool. Like I thought he was gonna be over the top for a little, and like, oh no, don't make the best friend like this over top character. But he was like really well done and tame as well.
He was in the background all the time.
Yeah, the drag queen stuff was funny. They were hilarious, I thought, and the way he played off them in the back room was really funny. At one point, he like asked a question and then mumbled himself. Oh, that was a dumb question. Like it was pretty funny. When he asked to touch her eyebrows, I laughed out loud. No one else in the theater laughed.
That was a weird moment.
Yeah, but it was good. They played like he was kind of like a shy, depressed, awkward person and shit like that.
Yeah. I do like, of all places, had to be a drag queen, a drag bar. And the guy was at the front is like, do you know this isn't really your kind of place? He's like, it's alcohol?
Yeah.
It's my kind of place.
Yeah.
And he stayed there. It was like the fact that those things were going on around him, it wasn't a scene at all. He's like, I get alcohol. All is right in the world.
I think it was to show that he was like a good guy and like at heart.
No, for sure.
He cared about people and things at heart. So he didn't care. Do you like the music?
All he needed was. Oh.
Sorry, that was quick. I was thinking about the song he played at the drag bar. Like I really like that song.
Yeah. The was it let the old times die?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was I thought that was great for that situation because old times drags weren't really accepted. So let the old times die.
And
that was nice.
There was some line about like what a man can be or something like that. So it was a little heavy-handed. Like he would sing this for the drag queens.
Yeah,
but
he knew how to pander.
Yeah, but that was it was like a good. The opening it wasn't that heavy, but that vibe stayed the same. Like you knew it was going to get heavy. The movie. Mm-hmm. But it was like light and funny and sweet as hell. When she's on stage with him and they're singing, I mean that was goosebumps moment.
Yeah,
could have been.
You said you knew it was going to get heavy, but I had no idea how heavy it would get. Oh,
Dave ruined it for me.
Oh well, I would say ruined it, but I didn't. I thought he told this in text. He says not one person left without crying. Is that what he said?
Yeah, so in my head I said he dies.
See, I didn't think that at all. I thought maybe it was just such a sweet ending.
No, I just knew from like the trailers and his character and her character. Trailers did such a good job. The trailers were only the first act. The trailers made it seem like her getting on stage with him was the end. We never saw her with orange hair. We never saw like him as like a pill abuser. Did we even see Sam Elliott?
I think so.
But you know what I mean? It was just
Very
all the first
briefly.
act. Yeah. And then Sam Elliott's a whole nother thing. His backstory. What do you want to do? You want to do second act, or second act is when she was joins him and they get married and all that, right?
Yeah, that was all over the place. Dave Chappelle, did you feel weird about that one?
I thought they could have let us know a little more about the history. He said that
Yeah.
they met when they were 13. It seemed like Dave Chappelle was kind of... I got the sense maybe they were like foster brothers, because around 13 is when his dad died and his brother was on the road. Or just friends. And it seemed like Dave Chappelle lived the life with him for a while. The partying, maybe he was in a band as well. But then he
Yeah, he had
settled down.
the wall of guitars, so they definitely played together.
Yeah. I guess they played together. I thought Dave Chappelle played that part well,
I think the writing didn't back him up as enough as it should have, though.
but it did kind of like that character just came and went.
Yep.
We should have had inklings beforehand and then something else, but maybe that was to show like his life. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe to show how spotty his life was, like just everywhere.
The
I
casting
don't know.
for this is crazy. That they got Andrew Dice Clay to play a serious role, Dave Chappelle to play a serious role, Lady Gaga to
Act.
be the star actor. All she had done was like American Horror Story, which she was bad in. And then they had Bradley Cooper singing and he's not a singer. Like, it was crazy acting, but everything worked out.
Beautifully. I mean, I think Bradley Cooper at that in his singing was better than. I don't want to say his singing was better than his acting, but it was up there. It was just as good.
Yeah, when Bradley Cooper gets a role that's good, I think he's really, really well. I mean, who would have thunk in 2008 or whatever when Lady Gaga was doing like "Jump on My Pogo Stick" or whatever the fuck that song was?
In meat dresses and the telephone song. Yeah, no, basically the second act or the end of the second act when she was a pop star. Basically, that was her life in 2008.
Did you think? Whose side were you on? Were you mad at her for becoming what she like? She punched the dude in the bar because she didn't like the celebrity status they were giving her, and then she kind of chased that celebrity status in a. She kind of chased that celebrity status in a shallow way.
Yes,
Where
I
in the
was not happy with the SNL performance. That song was bullshit, and I totally was on his side because he told her like, "This is your chance, sing from your soul, not about some guy with a hot ass and jeans." Like that's, use this. You wanted this, I got it for you. Don't be just another like rando voice on a billboard. That's all. So I mean, not to the point where I think he should have abused the bejesus out of himself and almost killed himself with pills and alcohol. But I think that he could have handled it a little bit better. But I think she should have, on the same token, done a little better.
Well, they both dropped the meanest things. They both, like, she said, like, you're something about his dad. He said you crossed the line. So he said you're ugly, which is her biggest concern. I think at the time he meant like your outside, not your inside has become ugly because your music and what you're doing is ugly. But obviously, she was so sensitive about being attractive. Even when Dave Chappelle's little daughter said, "I think you're pretty," she was like, "You think I'm pretty?" So that was that was a big thing for her. The nose thing, obviously.
That was her soft spot. Like, so he knew how to get her.
Yeah.
They were just. I mean, we've all been in relationships. We all know sometimes you fight and you like try to throw daggers, and you can connect if you really want to.
Yeah. And
that's what that was.
They had two like tragic scenes, but one of them was hilarious. Is when he was drunk at the Grammys.
Oh, I could no.
You didn't laugh?
Not even a little bit. I couldn't watch. That was so uncomfortable.
When he's laying on the steps and he's like, "I'll just wait here." You didn't giggle?
No. I was so cringing. I couldn't look. My head was in my lap. I couldn't even look up. When I heard him just kind of like off the side, "Did you win? Wait, can I come up there? Did you win?" I'm like, "Oh no, stop! Somebody drag him off. Don't let him be out there."
Yeah, that was bad. But when he first falls and instead of trying to get up, he goes, "I'll just stay here." Me and my dad chuckled.
Oh, and then I could tell you knew exactly what was going to happen when he stood up there presenting himself and his pants was directly. I mean, you could see it coming. He was going to pee.
Sad.
And that was
super sad.
the saddest thing. And she like a trooper. She put her dress in front of him, even it's already been done. It was just the saddest whole thing because it was such a big moment for her.
Yeah.
To win the Grammy for Best New Artist, this is like her whole life coming to this one moment, and he ruined it. And that's something you're never going to get back.
Yep.
I thought her father was going to beat the shit out of him.
I
like,
did
I
too.
thought he was going to like give him stitches.
So I knew he was gonna die. So I kept like saying like, oh, is he gonna get beat to death? Is it gonna be like an accident, like something tragic, like done a different way? He goes to rehab. Then that's when we hear the story about him hanging himself when he's 13, and I'm thinking, yeah, okay, there's a reason why they just put that story 3/4 of the way in. I mean, I'm not saying in a bad way, but
No, I still didn't pick up on it though.
what? When he said he hung himself?
I thought I did not think he was going to die.
Oh,
I thought he was going to leave. I thought he was going to leave her because he knew he was dragging her down.
That story was
He did technically, but a different way.
that story was pretty terrible. He tried to hang himself on the ceiling fan. The ceiling fan fell, and then the ceiling fan stayed on the floor for 6 months. He said, and his dad just didn't notice. That's
so bad.
some really heavy, tragic shit to have as an upbringing.
That means the father wasn't just like not there. He wasn't there at all emotionally, physically. He just didn't give a shit.
Well, he was
There's nothing worse.
75 years old.
There's nothing worse than not giving a shit. Even if you're 75 years old and you're still drinking like that, you notice there's a fan ripped out of your ceiling.
Yeah.
Over the course of 6 months, you notice, but the thing is, you just don't care. And you certainly, if you're not asking how it happened, then you truly don't care.
Yeah.
And that's the worst.
How did you like the brother story? I mean, I think it was my favorite scene, but I'm a man and a brother, so it pulls at my heartstrings. But I mean, he finds out that his dad's grave moves. He punches. They fight. He says, "You stole my voice. I only stole it because you didn't have the balls to tell your story, or no one cared about your story." They get in a fight over that.
You had nothing to say.
Yeah, you have nothing to say. And then after he gets out of rehab and he's clear-headed, he gets out of the car and he's like choking up, and he just like gets it out like, I'm sorry, I stole your voice. It's because I idolized you, not dad. Bam, car door shut. He runs away because he doesn't want to see his brother see him crying. And then when they cut, just beautiful editing, acting, cinematography, everything. They immediately cut to him throwing it in reverse, turning his head and backing out while crying. I mean,
yeah,
I giggled and I cried at the same time, because that's like, I mean, not to be a weirdo or cliche, but that's like manhood. Like that's how men do really emotional things.
It's funny you picked up on that, because I was going to say that's like my favorite scene.
Yeah.
That one thing, like, I idolize you, not my dad. Boom. And then they both just like went straight
They
up. Men
both
were crying in different rooms. And it wasn't even like he was like going to say anything. He's like, I gotta get out of here. Yeah. I gotta go.
Yeah, I'm saying. I mean, I think it's because we're men, so we relate to it. But that was easily my favorite little scene. I thought the scene when they're in the bathtub and they were saying mean shit to each other was really well acted as well. It's not a fun scene to watch though.
No.
All right, let's get to
Has Sam Elliott ever won anything?
I don't know, but I love Sam Elliott. He's great, and it's nice to see him he was swearing and being all rough and tumble. And I think it was good they said that you stole my voice, because it sounded like he just literally was doing Sam Elliott impression.
Yeah, so he's been nominated twice for Golden Globes in '96 and '92. Buffalo Girls. I've never even heard of the movies he's been nominated for, but I would love to see him nominated for like Best Supporting for this one, because he was just so good.
That one shot of him backing up while crying, while fighting tears, is amazing.
Nailed it.
It's a really good performance. I think there's. Let's finish the end.
Sorry, yep.
And then we'll get to nominations, because I think it's good conversation.
Yes.
So the manager, that scene, I think, obviously we're supposed to hate the manager, right?
Yeah, I mean,
but I think what the manager was saying, he was a good manager. He was making her star. Got her on SNL. He won her Best New Artist. Maybe it wasn't in 100% the light that we as an audience wanted her to see, because we're kind of watched her through Jack's eyes for the whole first act. So we envisioned her as a real soul singer. But I guess if we flipped it you could easily flip this from the manager's point of view, and he was doing a bang up job. And he just, the peeing ruined her career. And so what he says to him is is kind of true. He would have started drinking again. He would have
Yep.
dragged her down. Maybe he didn't realize how vulnerable Jackson
Yeah.
was.
In no way did he ever think that he was going to like push him over the edge of suicide.
Well, and then her actually canceling her tour for him and lying, and he's laying there realizing that the world is not going to hear her because of him. And one of the reasons he fell in love with her is from hearing her. And in the very thing that he cherishes about her, he's now holding back from the entire world cherishing about her. So, gotta fucking kill yourself.
I didn't think that still. I didn't see him killing himself until he got out of his car with his belt down. I'm like, oh,
You're so
fuck.
late to things sometimes.
No, I know I am. I know. I'm blissfully like I hope for the best, and I thought he was just gonna leave.
You thought like there was like a long goodbye. There was
I know.
wait, when he fed the dog a steak, you didn't pick up on it?
Well, you could say goodbye. Like that's. I mean, he was saying goodbye. I didn't know it was like bye. I'm gonna kill myself just outside the door. I thought he was like taking off, taking a long drive. I'm gonna go find somewhere to die in Arizona alone.
Another good piece of editing, and then I have another editing after this, but the piece of editing is that shot of the dog sitting out front of the garage door with him, his like body swinging.
Hanging. Yep.
They let that shot linger for the perfect amount of time, whereas an audience, we're like, come on, just cut away. Come on, get at, like, you know, and then they do, but we needed that brief next like last 2 seconds where we're like, we fucking get it, don't break my heart anymore, like stop showing me the dog.
The dog just kind of nuzzled it in. Like when the dog kind of laid down and got comfortable, I was like, all right.
Yeah,
But then at the end of that, they ended it with the blue lights, right?
yeah, then it went,
Or was that
there
afterwards?
was, they cut to, well, they I think it went back to her telling her manager, and she was singing a song dedicated to him. And I like that they put this line of dialogue in where she says, can you send someone to the house to check on him?
Yep.
Because as an audience member and viewer, I did not want them to show her coming home to him. And I'm glad that it didn't even happen at all.
Yeah, no, that's the first thing I thought of. I was like, that sucks. Like, that's one of the worst things you can do to someone. If you kill yourself, find the one you love, like have her find you in your dead body. That's the meanest thing you could ever do. So I'm very glad that didn't happen. Yeah. But selfish on his part, that could have happened.
Yeah. And then the shot of her and the dog just sitting around waiting, like she said they did at rehab. Oh, that scene at rehab I thought was an interesting conversation from like a human people. She's like, after this, you're going to come home, right? And he's like, why not? And he reads her saying that as like, why? Do you not want me home? You think I wouldn't want to be home? And he kind of is insulted by it. But she's asking that from such a vulnerable point of view, like, well, you have never loved me sober. So I don't know if you're going to love me as a sober person or even want a life with me as a sober person, which I'm sure happens. I never.
No, it absolutely does happen. But I kind of thought maybe it was more like, will she love him? Because at the same token, he's not going to be the same person she knew in their whole relationship.
Yeah, so I think they're both worried about that and getting like half insulted and half like not. That was an interesting conversation. All right, so the final scene, she dyes her hair back to her natural color. She's not dolled up at all. She walks out alone at a memorial for him and sings the song that he wrote. That was basically like a suicide note that he didn't know. And when they show her singing and then it cuts to the flashback of them singing together, I think that's the most tear-inducing edit I've seen of a movie. That was so well done.
No, what got for me was the after that when it cut back to her, it was just her face blown up, tears everywhere, and her singing the final note. That's when it was just like my eyes exploded.
Yes. Okay. Which brings me to my one complaint.
What?
Why'd she break the fourth wall? At the very last second, she's crying, and then her eyes focus right in on the camera, like looking at us, the audience.
I think she was looking up, and she was looking up, and like you're supposed to be like, that's just like her looking up at the sky to him.
Okay.
And
I thought
you're looking through her eyes.
it
wasn't. I didn't take it as a fourth wall break.
I thought it. I saw it as she looked right at the camera, and I was like, "What's that supposed to mean?"
Well, because the camera was so far above her, and she was just like...
Well, yeah, but you know if you're looking into the camera or not, it's like a huge thing.
Of course. No, I understand that, but I took it as something like looking like past us.
I hope so. I hope I watched it wrong because I couldn't figure out what it was. But all right, so that we just walked through the movie basically.
We did.
It's good.
It's a good movie to walk
It's
through.
a good movie to walk through because it's really, really well done. There's probably some scenes we missed that we should have kept too.
Of course.
But
I mean,
we're 30 minutes in, so let's go to ratings and reviews. And at this time, I'll read Dave's, who's not here, but because he couldn't join us, but he texted. Oh, the other note I wanted is that the relationship started with him singing words she wrote, and ended with her singing words he wrote.
that's nice.
It was a
A little poetic.
yeah. Okay, so Dave says, I went in with really high expectations, and honestly, A Star is Born blew them out of the water. Very impressed with Cooper's directorial debut. Loved everything about the movie, and will be shocked if it doesn't clean up in award season. I did want to say that. I think that Lady Gaga's a lock for Best Female Lead. Cooper may be a lock for Best Male Lead, and we don't know the rest of the movies.
I think Gosling, depending on First Man,
I'm
will
talking
be
about nominations.
nominated. Oh yeah, nominated for sure.
I don't know who's
Yes,
going to win
yes,
because
yes.
we haven't seen the rest, but I think he'll be nominated. I think she'll be nominated. I think he'll be nominated as Best Director, Best Screenplay Adaptation.
Yep.
Not winning, but just not because we don't know the rest of the field yet, but nominated at least. Best
agree.
Best Original Song, and
Yep. Oh, that's going to be a lock to win. I guarantee that.
and maybe an editing thing because maybe cinematography. This is gonna
So much.
It's gonna clean up nominations. I don't know about wins, but when the Grammys happen, it's gonna be one of those or the Emmy or Oscars. When
Oscars, Globes, and Oscars. Yes.
when the Oscars happen, it's going to be one of those
Tonys.
movies where when people haven't seen it, they're like, "Oh shit!" Like Marvelous Miss Maisel at the Emmys. It's like, "Oh shit, I got to see this." I guess that's what this movie. It's gonna be nominated for everything.
Because it checks all the boxes too. I mean, anytime you get it's a remake, yeah. So that kind of takes it down a notch. But it's a movie centric to entertainment, which critics love. It deals with drug abuse, alcoholism, suicide. It even throw in drags for good measure. It checks a bunch of boxes, so it's gonna be a heavy hitter.
Yep. All right. You want to do Dave's first?
Yeah, Dave critically he gave it a 99%, which I think is
And critical is like good. Like it's not fun. It's not entertainment. It's just well made.
we break it down to the nuts and bolts. We decide it on the merits of it, the acting, the sounds, the everything. We take it all the critical stuff.
So what are you
Exactly what it
what
sounds.
are you giving it?
I'm doing 94.
Okay, I had 90. I had
94.
97. So
Really? Okay.
I think it's easily one of the best movies we've done on this podcast.
Oh, for sure. We the only reason why I brought down a 94, I was even going to do 95, but 94 because it's a remake. It's the fifth time it's been told. That's is what it is. A couple of points there, but the Chappelle thing, it bothers me more and more. I think about it, how they didn't dive into that whole backstory too much. But again, we're just getting nitpicky. 94 is still a fantastic. I've never given anything any higher than that. So
Rounds out to 96.6. 666.
97%.
Repeating. 97. I'm there.
beautiful.
I'm totally fine. I think that's going to be our highest rated movie yet.
Ever.
Yeah. I think it's really good movie, man. Like
It is. It's amazing.
yeah, I think it was really. I mean, yeah. Okay. Popcorn, easy 5. Popcorn is entertainment, rewatchability, easy 5 for me. I got to be.
I give it a 3.
You're a joke.
No kidding. A 5, yeah.
And Dave gave it a 5 as well.
So 5 across the board.
So next we do is pairings. What would you drink with it? Dave said a gin on the rocks. I guess that's what he drank.
That's the only thing he drank. He
So-
kept drinking gin.
So he's just copying the alcoholic who hung himself. Good move, Dave.
Yep.
Smart.
I got to look creative. This is kind of convenient. I'm showing you a bottle right here. I went on vacation to Cape Cod last week, and I went to South Hall Spirits, and I picked up this nice bottle of gin, but it's a little bit different. It's a rosé infused gin.
Gross.
Well, it might be, but I was drunk, and I thought it looked cool in a nice bottle. So I think the pairing of Lady Gaga and the gin drinking husband, rosé gin. I like it.
I'm drinking red wine because I want to cry. And if I drink red wine while watching this movie, the crying will be doubled. It'll just be a bag of
A nice
tears.
California blend.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so that's the end of A Star is Born, Six Pack Cinema official review. You're going to want to see this movie.
You need to. And also, if you listen to it, you already have, I would assume.
Yeah, I would assume you've already seen it. So go to Instagram, fucking. Go to Instagram, Six Pack Cinema, and let us know your reviews, Popcorn Entertainment. Leave them as a comment after we post our official reviews. And thank you for listening. We'll see you guys later. Have a good day. Check in on Thursday for Hollywood headlines.
Friday.
We record on Thursday. We post on Friday. Unless I get it wrong, which I
Bingo.
just did.
Thanks for listening, guys.
See ya.